What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the OG family. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to my channel only if you want to. But look, my beautiful people, we got these strangest last meal requests on Death Row. I always wondered what your last meal would be. What would your last meal be? Like, in general, you know this is your last meal that you would ever eat on this earth. What will you have? I'll let y'all know mine a little bit further into the video, but like, put y'all down below. Let's get this video right here to 5,000 likes. Let's get into the video.
There's an interesting custom for criminals on death row. The infamous last meal. Convicted felons are granted the opportunity to select any food and drink of their choice within certain regulations on the eve of their execution. Here are some of the strangest meals ever recorded. Number 20. Victor Harry Fagor. In 1963, 28-year-old Victor Harry Fagor was sentenced to death by hanging for convicted kidnap murder. For his final meal, the young man had only one request: a single olive with the pit left in. After his execution, the olive pit was found inside Fagor's suit pocket, contributing to the popular belief that he intended to be buried alongside it so that the olive tree symbolizing peace would sprout from his grave. For a dangerous criminal, it's almost a touching sentiment. Number 19.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jared Lee Mitchell. Jared Lee Mitchell's final meal was even sweeter than Fagor's, but in an entirely different sense. As he awaited his final moments on death row, Mitchell had only one thing on his mind when it came to his final meal: an assorted bag of Jolly Ranchers candy. After finishing the entire bag before facing the final curtain, it's safe to say this criminal intended to go out on a real sugar high. Number 18.
Yeah, like, bruh, you just wanted some candy that damn bad. That's alright, bet. Like,
while some have a clear idea of the last thing they'll ever eat,
crazy.
Others are totally spoiled for choice. Taking full advantage of this unusual opportunity, convicted killer and white supremacist Lawrence Russell Brewer decided to indulge in an enormous feast in 2011. He requested 2 fried chicken steaks with gravy and onion, a triple bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, 3 fajitas, a meat feast pizza, a bowl of fried okra, a pound of barbecued meat with half a loaf of white bread, peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts, and a pint of Bluebell ice cream, all washed down with 3 root beers. In a final screw you to the justice system, though, Brewer refused to eat a morsel when the order arrived, claiming that he wasn't hungry. Texas Senator John Wood.
wow. I would have had to give him one little uppercut, though, like right before he, you know what I'm saying, got put to death. Yeah, fact.
And was so furious that he decided to ban the last meal request in the state, so future death row prisoners have Lawrence Russell Brewer to blame for regular prison slop. Number 17. John Wayne Gacy. Another felon who capitalized on his last meal request was the notorious serial killer John Wayne Gacy, otherwise known as the Killer Clown Pogo. For his final supper, Gacy ordered 12 fried shrimp, a bucket of original recipe KFC, french fries, and a pound of strawberries. Prior to his conviction, Gacy had managed 3 KFC restaurants in his home city of Waterloo, and he clearly never got tired of that finger-licking goodness. Number 16. John Spinkalink.
That's crazy. That dude Gacy, bro. Y'all seen the movie about him? Straight savage, bro.
For some,
and he ate that on his last meal.
At all when it comes down to making a last order. Previously known as a heavy drinker, Spinkalink denied any special food to be prepared, but asked for a single flask of Jack Daniels instead, which he shared with the prison superintendent. After his death, the state of Florida's last meal provisions was revised to exclude alcohol altogether, but to be honest, going out while drunk doesn't seem like such a bad idea. Number 15. Eileen Wuornos. Eileen Wuornos also requested a beverage before taking her last breath in 2002.
She from the movie Monster.
But of a different kind. A single cup of black coffee was all she wanted. It may seem like this request was her way of saying, don't even think about killing me before I've had my morning coffee, but Wuornos actually had far crazier motivations. In fact, she didn't believe she was going anywhere for long, as her notorious last words were, I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus June 6th. It's safe to say she still hasn't turned up yet.
Yeah.
Number 14.
That shit dead.
Ricky Ray Rector. Ricky Ray Rector seemed to have similar motivations when it came to his last meal. Rector had ordered a tasty-sounding meal consisting of steak, fried chicken, and cherry Kool-Aid, followed by a slice of pecan pie. But he left his dessert untouched. When asked why he changed his mind on the sweet treat, Rector simply said he was saving it for later. Whether this was intended as an ironic joke or a sinister hint that his return in the afterlife was imminent is entirely up to you. Number 13.
He was probably being funny, bro.
This senseless
crazy.
killer ordered as his last hurrah might surprise you, given the seriousness of his crimes. All McVeigh wanted to eat before his execution in 2001 was 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Though it's unclear whether...
Alright, I feel like automatically, if you eat mint chocolate chip, like, you are a serial killer. Like, that's what you eat.
remained chilled as he guzzled down the first, or simply melted into a puddle beside it. To be honest, for a man responsible for 168 innocent deaths, even melted ice cream seems far too generous. Right. Number 12, David Leon Woods. Convicted murderer David Leon Woods spent a whopping 22 years on death row before he was put to death on May 4th, 2007 in Michigan, Indiana. When the daunting moment finally came, Woods had a fairly simple request for his last meal. He chose a standard pizza and an entire birthday cake, both of which he shared with his family. As it turns out, his birthday was actually 3 months after his execution, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Number 11, Thomas J. Grasso. Thomas J. Grasso was not the brightest of the bunch, and when Judgment Day came in 1995, his final meal request reflected his questionable life choices. He ordered a plethora of extravagant foods like 24 steamed clams, half a dozen barbecued ribs, a Burger King double cheeseburger, and 2 strawberry milkshakes, alongside a can of SpaghettiOs to be served at room temperature.
Bro, they're eating better than most of us. I'm jealous. Should we go to death row? Absolutely not.
Grasso's meal arrived, he was served spaghetti and meatballs instead, a mistake he'd never forgive, as his final words were, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Number 10, what? Stephen Wayne Anderson. Grasso isn't the only one to throw a seemingly random ingredient into the mix when concocting the perfect final meal. Stephen Wayne Anderson was a pretty deadly criminal, but his food choices were interesting to say the least. Before his execution in California in 2002, the 48-year-old requested 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, a pint of cottage cheese, a hominy corn mixture, peach pie and chocolate chip ice cream, and, well, a big helping of radishes on the side. Number 9, Peter J. Minnie. Convicted killer Peter J. Minnie could give Lawrence Russell Brewer a run for his money for one of the biggest orders ever served on death row in 2004. Minnie confessed to his crimes and was vocal about being ready to pay the price, but not before he gorged himself on this whopping order. He requested 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, spaghetti with salt, and a modest dessert of half a chocolate cake, half a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, and a small fruit cake. To wash it all down, he also had 2 lots of Coke, Pepsi, root beer, and orange juice.
What?
Maybe intended to explode Henry VIII's.
Look, at the same time, like, do they have a time limit on when they need to be done, or are they just trying to prolong this, bro? I was sitting there for days eating this, like, trying to get I don't care, bro. I'll be there for a whole week. I'll be eating a spoiled burger. I don't even care.
Before facing the music. Number 8, Velma Barfield. This sweet, God-fearing grandmother became known as the Death Row Granny. Velma Barfield was the first woman put to death in the U.S. in 22 years when she was executed by lethal injection in 1982. But not before she was granted one final meal. A cup of tea, a slice of coffee cake, or a fruit scone might be what you'd expect. But all Barfield really wanted was a packet of cheese doodles and a can of Coke. But for a devout Christian old lady who also killed 6 people, what can you really expect? Number 7,
6?
Robert Almond Harris. When you're ordering your final meal on death row, it's important to cover all bases. And why agonize over which takeaway to get when you can combine the lot? This is exactly what murderer Robert Alden Harris did in 1992 when he requested a 21-piece bucket of KFC and 2 large Domino's pizzas alongside a 6-pack of Pepsi with ice cream and a bag of jelly beans for dessert. And a packet of Camel cigarettes for good measure.
Minus the cigarettes and all the candy, like he good. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have added some Texas Pete hot sauce though.
It's his most
Send
remembered
me
for
off
his
like
final
that.
words, though, which were, "You can be a king or a street sweeper, but everybody dances with the Grim Reaper." Kind of prophetic for a seasoned criminal, don't you think? Number 6, Ronnie Lee Gardner. Plenty of death row criminals have used their final meal as an opportunity to make smart choices, and Ronnie Lee Gardner was certainly determined to make his sitting last as long as possible. He didn't go too overboard on his order of steak, lobster tail, apple pie with vanilla ice cream, and a 7-Up, but he also had another request: to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy while eating. Surprisingly, Gardner was permitted to do so, and with a combined runtime of more than 11 hours, this must have been the longest last meal ever. Number 5.
That's what's up. Look, man, he was smart. He was trying to buy himself some time, man. That's what I was just talking about. Like, that's what's up.
Gluttony was the last thing on Phillips's mind when he requested his final meal. His final request was for a large vegetarian pizza to be given to a random homeless person, but prison officials refused to do so, and he ate nothing. In a surprising turnout, on the day of his death on May 9th, homeless shelters in Tennessee received large amounts of vegetarian pizzas from people all over the country. So at least he did one good deed before his death. Number 4. Angel Nieves Diaz. Philip Workman may have gone hungry because of his strangely selfless request, but Angel Nieves Diaz deliberately turned down his last meal. As he didn't order anything special, Diaz was served the regular Wednesday prison menu of shredded turkey with taco seasoning, cheese, rice, pinto beans, tortilla shells, apple crisp, and ice cream. As surprisingly nice as that sounds, Diaz refused to eat that too, and in his final words he condemned the death penalty as a form of vengeance, but also a cowardly act by humans. Number 3.
Wow.
Oba Chandler.
I don't see how like killers and murderers speak like that. Like, that's crazy.
His last meal, he ordered 2 salami sandwiches on white bread with mustard and peanut butter, and a grape jelly sandwich on white bread with iced tea and a coffee. And with all that bread, it's safe to say, another one bites the crust. Ba-dum-ts. Short link on screen and in the description.
Look, that's crazy, man. Like, hell no. Like, I don't know, man. Y'all let me know which one y'all felt like was the most extreme, like, meal. I feel like the dude went out with the olive. Bro, that's trash, man. You could have did a lot better than that. But yeah, I think my last meal would be, I'll probably get me a dry aged ribeye. Probably give me a rack of lamb, some fried shrimp, some red snapper. Like, mine would be crazy. I need me a little bowl of greens. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'll just keep going for days and days. And then I want to watch like my favorite movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching 300, Boys in the Hood, stuff like that. It'd just be a whole list. Just give me. I'm just trying to milk this out for a couple days, man. Please. But yeah. Let me know how y'all like this video. Put it in the comments down below. What will y'all last meal be? I already told y'all what mine would be. My list would be like this long if you let me. But I see you on the next video. Like I always say, spread love because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. See you in the next video. And I'm out.